What's going on, everybody? It is March 13th, 2023, 2024. Daylog episode over NQ and live stream review. I hope you guys were in attendance to the live stream today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's been boring this week. I know it has not been fun. It's been a lot of rants and talking, which I hope have been insightful to those who are learning, and they've been encouraging your mentality and helping it. And those downtimes, it's really where I'm going to be ranting the most. And I don't have anything ever scripted. Like, it's always just off the top. So I appreciate those who sit through a lot of these live streams that are boring. You don't have to. I mean, if you understand that the profile is not high probability and there's nothing there, then obviously go off and do something more meaningful with your life. If I wasn't live streaming, I wouldn't be on the charts. I would be doing something else with my day. And that, to me, is when you mature into this profession, and especially with these concepts, there's just going to be days and times where you can predict that, and you don't have any fear of not even participating that day. You're so confident in not showing up that day that you can go plan something else. Go golfing, go to the gym, go running, whatever it is. Have something else to do where it's an exchange, where it's freedom. That's why we got into this, right? I think a lot of people forget. We get into this so most of us can break free from jobs and from things that we don't want to particularly be doing for money. But then again, you're chained to these charts as if you're in a job. You're treating this more than a job at one point, and you're invested too much. And this is the maturity point where you're only going to reach that through really boring markets and through conditions where you simply can't make it work. And you have to beat it over your head so many times to where, especially me, I was like, wow, okay, well, yeah, I can go off and do something else with my life. And it's very freeing. It's a liberating idea. It's like, wow, that's really cool, man. Like, I get to do whatever I want, and I can be confident I can show up on a day that's high probability and execute it. Not to say like tomorrow, if I had to place some probabilities on tomorrow, I believe tomorrow is going to be high probability. I believe tomorrow I'm going to end up taking a trade, and I believe it could potentially go in my favor. Could be a loss, but guess what I did the whole week? I didn't take anything. So I'm comfortable taking a trade tomorrow. And we have 5 red news event drivers coming out tomorrow. We've been in a consolidated market being held, which I predicted even last night going into today. I was keying off the idea that we're probably engineering liquidity. If you have a large major news event driver ahead of you and you have a clear draw on liquidity, it's probably holding price until that releases. So you can't anticipate something like today for it to run to it. It's exactly what I anticipated from last night going into the morning. Didn't catch me off guard. Didn't catch me by surprise. Was I mad or upset that price wasn't moving? No, I can't do anything about it. I submit all my will to these markets and say, if I can't change it, then what other choice do we have? We have to do nothing. So I hope you guys have been learning a lot. I mean, it takes a great deal of discipline, and the markets are not always like this every single week. I mean, the last 2 weeks, yes, I've been very patient. And for the most part, throughout all these live streams, I've been very patient. But especially these last 2 weeks, I've been very tedious on what I want to pick on and, the setups I want to be inside of. But last week, I waited out Monday and Tuesday, took a trade Wednesday, and then NFP protocol rolled in. So I wanted to demonstrate that and exercise it for all of us. So I didn't trade the Thursday and Friday, and then rolling into this week. I mean, Monday was terrible. Tuesday, there was not really anything that I would have particularly loved. And then today was terrible. So what, like, what else would you want to be doing in this? Taking losses? That doesn't seem fun. So the fun part is just sitting out and watching everybody else kind of take losses. At least in my eyes, like all the people that, again, we're always in a competition with other people, whether you like it or not. I support each and every one of you who watches this and wants to succeed in it. But overall, we're always against each other in a sense. I mean, if you have your stop loss where my take profit is, I'm going to target that, and I have no guilt about it, vice versa. So that's the way I view it. And on days like this, I have empathy and sympathy for those who are going through this and actually really want to succeed, but yet they're pushing in conditions that they know better. You know better not to be pushing in conditions that are not optimal, that are consolidating. You know this, but yet you still go against it because you believe that you're better than what you actually are. You believe that you're better than a consolidated market. The market can remain irrational longer than you can remain rational. So once you understand that, I mean, you just have to submit to the idea that if I had to wait another week, if the price stayed like this, even tomorrow it didn't move off lower, so be it. I'm just going to wait it out. I'm not going to be taking unnecessary losses. It's stupid. When the days come and the weeks come where I can exercise my discipline, exercise my model, and I can get in there, it's going to make up for all the lost quote unquote time. If that's a problem you're struggling with, then understand that when the real clean moves and markets unfold, you're going to make up for all that lost quote unquote time that you sat out of the market. So hopefully that helps, a little gem there for those who may be struggling with it. Overall, I mean, the sell side to me in here is really, really clear. I've gun to my head tomorrow with news event driver, we're going to want to target this. There's no reason to run for buy side. If we do, I mean, again, it's no big deal. I can adjust to it. I would need clear evidence that we'd want to go towards the buy side in here. But in a consolidated market, we can go for either. We're sitting basically EQ of the dealing range. So from that high down to this low, we're stuck inside of the middle of it. We're smack dab at the EQ of it. Anytime you're inside of a consolidated market, especially the daily time frame, when you're consolidating and then your price keeps returning back to the EQ of it, that is the lowest probability state to be taking a trade in. That is the lowest probability state. And this is where a lot of the entries today were happening. And everybody was like, why aren't you taking long? Why aren't you taking a short? Because I'm paying attention to the daily time frame. This is my guide. This is my roadmap. I'm utilizing it. And I'm seeing we're in a consolidated state moving sideways, returning back to EQ. Why would I want to take a trade in there? It could move off higher or lower. I don't know. The models that are in there are not significant. Just because there's a 2022 model or a unicorn model or this or that or counting candlesticks, whatever it doesn't matter. It's not going to respect it. It's going to move aimlessly doing nothing. And you all saw that today. Watch other live streamers. They took all multiple losses. And guess what? If you're sitting in my stream, you didn't take a loss. You didn't take a loss all day. You sat there happy as could be, chilling, watching price doing nothing. So it's a best place you could be. Like, yeah, I can't emphasize it enough. I mean, I don't know how many times I have to say it, and I don't think people need to hear this over and over again. I mean, if you've been with me, but I feel the need to say it because I know there's somebody listening that was in there today, even in my live stream. They're listening to me, but yet they're still trading, probably trading while I was talking, and they're understanding, wow, maybe he was really right. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this dumb stuff. Like, maybe I should just be chilling out. And here's another point to the consolidated market. Guess what we're inside of? ICT just made a YouTube post about this. If you're trading back and forth between two breakers without a clear draw on liquidity, you're in a low probability environment. This is a bullish breaker here. We have a low, a high, a lower low, then a higher high. Last up close candle, that's your bullish breaker. Look at the bodies respecting it. Yes, we traded through it, but I'm looking at the bodies particularly. Traded up into, what is this? We have a high, a low, higher high, lower low. Bearish breaker, extend out in time. So you're trading back and forth between those two with the economic calendar. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the time of the week. Okay, well, tomorrow it's probably going to be held. That's what I was anticipating today. And then you add PA into it, consolidated market, trading in between two breakers. Okay, well, I'm not going to be doing anything today. So it's not that difficult. It really isn't. It's just the difficulty is managing yourself, managing the emotions and the tendencies you have. You're so fearful of missing things all the time. And I get it. I'm really speaking to my younger self. Like whenever I speak like this, don't think I'm speaking directly to you or I'm trying to be harsh or mean. I'm speaking to somebody who was in my shoes. And this is exactly what I'd want to hear. I'd want somebody to be harsh with me. So I'd wake up. Like you're in this daze, this dream of like, you can't understand why you're taking these losses and what's going on. But somebody needs to yell at you. Hey, man, wake up. What are you doing? You're trading in aimless nonsense. You're wasting your money. You're wasting your mental capital. You're doing the opposite of what you should be doing. And it took me a long time to get this, and it fires me up because I know how painful it is. It is so painful to be inside of these environments. The whole week I've been talking like this throughout all the daily logs, throughout all the live streams, because I emphasize with this so much. And if you've had a great week, fantastic. That's awesome for you. I'm happy for you. But as far as what I see and what my model and my system and the rules that have given me that made me profitable, this is what it's telling me to not to do, not to trade in it. So I hope it's helping. I hope those who are listening and taking the advice and journaling it and taking it to heart, I hope you understand it. I hope you see the significance behind it. If you look at today, again, when we had the sell-off, people were trying to chase the shorts. But this is where you get so narrow-minded and so narrow-focused that you're just looking at this short little run in here. But then again, you're not looking at the daily time frame. You're not looking at the 4 hour, the 1 hour. You're not seeing how we're in a consolidated market. We're basically at EQ. When we're sitting in here in the morning, we're at EQ, the daily range. I'm in the back of my head. I know that. And you see me, I constantly scroll through my time frames and I see where price is at. It's like, what the hell? Why would I pick a trade in here? And knowing the economic calendar as well, price is probably not going to move to a clear sided draw on liquidity. And I don't want to be in here just risking it just to see if I can get a trade off. Like, oh, there's this short in here. Like I could have made 80 handles. Oh, congrats. Awesome. I'm not going to risk that. I'm not going to risk just the probability that this might work out. It might not, because on another day, it could have just meandered higher, could have stalled for hours on end. It could have done anything. So in hindsight, it's very easy to sit here and be like, yeah, well, you could have shorted here. I could have longed here. We could have done this in the morning. No, because in these consolidated low probability states, this environment's always going to look different. It's always going to be a little bit different on lower time frames. And it's highly manipulated. I've said this many times before. If you span this out over a long course of time, you're not going to be profitable in it. You may have a couple hits here and there where it's, yeah, I can do this. They consolidate market. I trade every day. Screw it, other people. CJ, yeah, that dude doesn't know what he's talking about. He's saying I can't trade today. I can trade today. Look, I just made 80 handles here. Okay, I would like to see that over a long period of time because it's probably not possible. And I'm just being a realist. That's really who I am. So if we go into lower time frames, I'm just going to annotate some things that happened today, and that's it. There's no significance behind it. There's nothing that, because when I highlight these things that did happen, I'm also not highlighting all the things that you could have taken and could have taken losses on, because there's plenty of models in here that people were taking losses on, and it's due to the low probability environment. When I go over these in a second, the models that did work today, it's not saying you should have been trading it, nor should you ever be doing it. I'm just saying that on one side, there's a clear, picture that the algorithm's still working. It's still here. But if we go into the morning session, the open was here. We dropped off lower. You could have got a short up here. Cool. I'm not going to do it. I'm waiting until the silver bullet. If you look at the silver bullet in its entirety, we really did nothing the entire session. And a lot of people were trying to long at this bottom in here. And especially if I have a bearish narrative overall, I'm not trying to counter trade that. I'm not trying to trade the long retracement. I would rather just stick with the shorts. So if I traded today, I would only be looking at shorts. And would I have been profitable? Probably not. I understand myself very well. I understand that I'm probably not going to be that accurate. So I'll dig into a 1 minute real quick. And I'm going to try to keep it short. I know I've been ranting, but as soon as we closed above here, this SIBI there, a lot of people are looking at this, even live streamers, you know what I'm talking about. We're looking at this inversion, and yes, did it play out higher? But this is not a significant run. I could do this in less than 3 minutes on a good day. I mean, the way the market's moving right now, even in these tight ranges, I mean, it's still a significant, I mean, it's 46 handles on NQ. That's a lot just for this small, tight range. 46 handles, the way we're moving right now, if we get a clear setup, I mean, I could pull 100, 150, 200 handles. I haven't been able to really showcase that because the last 2 months or so haven't been the absolute best. But in a good day, I mean, you can really hold for 100, 150, 200 handles. I'm telling you, it's not that difficult if you just have the patience to wait for it. But this was a SIBI. We closed above it. We came back down in the inversion. We're utilizing that. You can see the bodies are never closing through it. Yes, price did send it higher, but I'm also looking at time, the amount of time spent in here, the amount of uncertainty that price is in. I'm also counter trading the narrative. So it's just a lot of things are against my favor, and I'm not trying to risk money. Cool. 50 handles are offered, but that's in hindsight saying that I would have took out at the very high. I wouldn't have been stopped at a break even. I would have pulled off the correct amount of partials. I mean, in this model, this print, I would have definitely taken out at break even, or maybe taken out one partial, and that's all I would have gotten out of it. So it's easy in hindsight to trick yourself into thinking that you could have done this or that. But again, as we all know through real-time data, that's not realistic. There's a small inefficiency to our left here. Look to your left. So for all those claiming the algorithm isn't real, why does it refer to this small little inefficiency here? Why would it refer to something this small and reverse from that point? Again, new week opening gap here, the most simplest, basic, any even retail trader that's against this whole algorithm concept. I mean, look at the precision here. Immediately reject off of it and move higher. From here, we sold off. Again, you could see, I'm not going to highlight it, but you could see multiple models where somebody could want to go long here. You're stopped out. But I'm going to highlight what did happen. We sold off from that fair value gap, closed underneath this. This turns into an inversion. We sell off. We engineer a little bit more liquidity here. So basically the new week opening gap, look at all the sell side. And then we retrace back up into it. This delivery is sloppy. It's not good. And this is the only decent clear run that we had today, in my opinion. There's one other one I'll highlight, but in here, and this is just pinpointing where out of the entire day, you're able to just get into this one move. I mean, it's not practical. That's not realistic. But to say we're coming off of a premium for value gap, we move up into another inefficiency in here. We sell off. We're nearing sell side. What is this? The 25% rule model. We're almost 75% complete to the drawn liquidity. Fair value gap, short into it. After we take sell stops, price immediately reverses. You go out to the 5-minute. And even in here, somebody could keep wanting to short. You're stopped out. So I'm going to highlight that as well. It's easy to say in hindsight. This is easy to see, but it's not in real time. Excuse me. Inefficiency here, if you look to the left of you, that would be your down close candle, which is your bullish order block there. So after taking buy side, you have a change in state of delivery. We actually never even got into that. So I'll just highlight the fair value gap. That price spool is higher, taking buy side. And I don't even think I'll have to highlight it, got into that higher premium, this inefficiency. They've tagged it. We didn't even tag it either. So then price just sold off. And this is the point I'm trying to make is when you're in a consolidated low probability environment, things are not going to be accurate. Your model's not going to work. You're going to be tilted. You're going to be upset, fearing, missing all these stupid moves you shouldn't even be fearing. So it's a lot of stupid trading, in my opinion. And it took me, again, a long time to realize this and to be able to predict it. And I'm trying to give you all of that for free currently, how to see that in real time. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I know it is boring, but this is what makes a successful trader, in my opinion. This is what the hard work requires. And once you move into those salad days, meaning it's really easy trading and your model's printing almost every single day. It's easy to find a draw on liquidity. It's easy to get in the market. It's low resistance. I mean, that's the fun time. If you look at this entire basically run up in here, I mean, this year, since January, I mean, it really hasn't been that great. Back here, we had a decent run there. Since then, it's been back and forth. Not clear, one-sided runs for a long period of time. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We have 2 more days of the free live streams and we're out. So I will not be posting the daily logs after I go private. So for those asking, nope, daily logs all go private. Everything goes private. I'm not going to be updating or doing anything. I will update how the private group's doing, what we're taking, what's happening in there. But besides that, that's it. So till tomorrow, good luck in good trading, everybody. Be safe.